Movie buffs, welcome back to the Movie Bay. This is Date, and in today's collection, we're going to take a look at about 21 films starring Charlize Theron. Now, I do like Charlize Theron. She's a very good actress, in my opinion. She's definitely one of Hollywood's best. So we're just going to dive in and take a look at these films. And she's the first female actress that I've done in this, basically this actress / spotlight series. I'm going down a particular list, and when the question was asked a couple of times, when are you going to get to females? That's just the way it worked. It's so many male actors just highlighted in Hollywood. The female actors, I got less movies with them, so I'm going in order of how many movies. We started with how many movies are in my personal collection. We started with Sam Jackson. I do believe I have like 60 titles from him. And just went down the list. So here we are in the 20s and the low 20s, 2021. We just now hit the first female. So just to let you guys know, Sigourney Weaver is coming up in I think she's a little bit further down the list. So we'll be getting into the female actresses. So just be patient. They're coming. So let's dive into Charlize Theron. Let's take a look at 21 films starring her. Some roles bigger, some not so big. Let's dive in. So here we go. We got Robert De Niro and Edward Burns and Charlize Theron in 15 minutes. 15 minutes. This was a pretty decent movie. It was decent. It wasn't nothing to write home about. We have Will Smith, Matt Damon, and Charlize Theron in The Legend of Bagger Vance. I did like this one. I thought this was a really good movie. Really good movie. Robert De Niro and Cuba Gooding Jr., Men of Honor. Charlize Theron had a small part in this, but still a great movie. Fantastic movie, actually. Will Smith and Charlize Theron in Hancock. I was really hoping they would have did something else with this, maybe a part 2 or something like that. I really wanted to see more of Hancock. This was a pretty decent movie. I enjoyed it. Mark Wahlberg, Charlize Theron, and Edward Norton, The Italian Job. Now, this is the remake. I like the original movie better, the whole movie, but I like the action and driving sequences in this one just a little bit more. You got Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino. Of course, Charlize Theron in The Devil's Advocate. I really like this movie. I thought this was a banger. Really, seriously, I thought this was a really good movie. I enjoyed watching this one. This was a fantastic watch. And, of course, the Fast series is... I got a love-hate relationship with the Fast series, but here we go. The Fast and the Furious F8. That's not one of my favorites. Tommy Lee Jones, Susan Sarandon, and Charlize Theron in The Valley of Eli. This movie was alright. It wasn't nothing to write home about, but it was an alright movie. You got Tommy Lee Jones and Susan Sarandon again. I do believe their first time out was The Client, and that was a banger. This movie was alright. It wasn't nothing crazy. It was alright. We got Viggo Mortensen, Robert Duvall, The Road. This was a decent movie. It was, again, not, it was alright. And this movie, a lot of people trashed it. I didn't really care too much for it. I'm not going to call it trash, but as far as the series that it came from, it doesn't do it any credit. Prometheus. Tom Hardy with Charlize Theron in Mad Max. I liked this movie. I liked it. It was alright. I liked it. It was a strong alright. Again, F9. It's the F series. At this point with all these F movies, it is what it is. You're gonna either love that series or hate it. If I had to lean towards loving that series, I would lean more towards, if I had to pick whether I love the F series or I hate the F series, I would lean more towards love it. There's just some of the movies that just take my love and pull it towards that middle. I never hate the series. It's just a great. It's too many of the movies that are really good to hate the whole series. But some of the movies just like it's like a tug of war. But I love the F series as a whole. And these two movies right here, I mean, these movies are bangers. Okay, you got Snow White and the Huntsman, and then Snow White and the Huntsman Winter Wars. I liked both of these. These movies are bangers, straight up and down. I like both of these. Then she was also in Children of the Corn 3, Urban Harvest. These movies are garbage. There's only really one Children of the Corn movie I really like, and that was the very first one. I just got this set because it was pretty cheap, and it had 4 Children of the Corn movies. Granted, there's only like one of these that's just okay. The rest of them is slop garbage. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Atomic Blonde. That was a good movie. Aeon Flux. This was just okay. Now, this is an F10 movie. F10. This is an F movie that I actually liked. I like this one better than F9. And that's, again, F10. And what saved this movie was definitely Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa, Dante's character, saved this movie. I mean, Dante was just a fantastic bad guy. I'm sorry, guys. Movies like this and superhero movies and movies like these type of action movies, you gotta have a good bad guy. You gotta have a good bad guy. That's what makes Batman such a banging ass superhero. His rogues gallery, his bad guys, they bang. Like RoboCop, the original RoboCop. I even say RoboCop 2 to a degree. RoboCop, the original RoboCop, had Clarence Boddicker as his rival. And his gang, they was fantastic bad guys. But the remake, they didn't have a good bad guy. If you really want to set up a good guy, you got to have a good bad guy. You can't have a good guy with a weak bad guy. That formula doesn't work. That's what killed RoboCop 2014. They didn't have a good bad guy. Well, it was a lot of things that killed that movie, but the bad guy, nobody even remember his name. Fast X, F10, whatever you want to call it, this was a pretty solid movie. To me, this marked a comeback for the series. So I hope it go out with a bang. Charlize Theron, Courtney Love, Stuart Townsend, and Kevin Bacon, Trapped. This was a decent movie. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good watch. Entertaining. And of course, she did some voice work in this one. Astro Boy. Astro Boy is one of my favorite characters. I remember the old Astro Boy cartoon. I do believe it came out in like the 60s or something like that. Again, that's before my time. But I do believe the original Astro Boy came out in the 60s. Fantastic little cartoon here with a great story. Well, that's everything in my collection starring Charlize Theron. Again, thanks for being patient. We got to the first female in this series. Many more to come. We're getting down in the list. So we're going to see some of my favorites. We're going to see, you know, all the usuals. You know what I mean? Angela Bassett, Demi Moore, you know, just so many. Sigourney Weaver's, she's coming up on the list very shortly. Just a lot. So thanks for being patient. They coming.